My beloved pilgrims, I welcome you back to this house. If there is anything we will love you understand is that today's experience is an eye-opener that will save many from missing the rapture. Today's experience reveals a secret about the rapture, and what was revealed here can be verified. What this young, tender girl saw will help you prepare for the rapture and even know where you belong when it comes. She saw a special kind of mark on the palm that speaks and distinguishes those who will be raptured at the second coming. Please stay to the end so you can fully understand these secrets. Please comment where you are watching from so we can pray for you, stand with you, and welcome you into our family. We want to know how to support you, encourage you, and lift you up in prayer. With love and care. My daughter, Amariel, was 9 years old then. She had been sick for days. I kept whispering prayers while holding her hand, even when she did not wake. At some point Amariel stopped breathing on her own. I do not know how long it lasted, but she began to breathe differently. When came back, she let me know later that Jesus had come to her. He was not loud. He revealed to her that he wanted her to come with him for a moment. She told me that Jesus led her to a place she called a great gathering. When she returned, she could not use the same words I might use. She only said that the place had more people than counting, people as many as grains of sand. She let me know that everyone there somehow knew that the rapture would happen at any moment. Amariel described the crowd as calm but certain. She said there was no shouting, only a stillness that felt like waiting for a gentle bell. She noticed that people were not pushed or scattered. They stood close, many holding nothing, some with hands folded. She said as she stood among the countless people in that place, something began to change. At first, it was calm, but then everywhere began to shook. She told me she didn't know how it began, but suddenly a mighty wind swept across the crowd. It was not like any storm wind we know here, it did not push people down or break things. She described it like standing in the middle of a field when a rushing sound comes, but instead of dust or leaves, this wind moved through the people. It touched each person, but it did not touch them all the same. Amariel told me that some people seemed drawn to one side while others remained in another place. She did not understand how it worked. One moment the people were all together, the next, the wind had made a clear separation between them. I remember how she clutched my hand as she explained it, because she wanted me to know it was not frightening. She said the wind decides where one stands, like it already knew who belonged where. No one fought it. No one ran. They were simply placed where they were meant to be. She told me that the side where the chosen ones stood seemed to glow a little differently. It was not light that came from lamps or the sun. It was something that lived within them. She noticed that those who ended up there had marks she had never seen before. That was when she leaned close to me and whispered that it was their palms that gave them away. She said she knew what natural palm lines looked like, since children always trace them when bored. But these palms were not the same. Their lines formed patterns that looked too neat, almost like designs placed with intentionality. And on their necks, she saw something faint, like a mark. She tried to describe it but stopped and shook her head, saying it looked close to a cross but was not exactly that. She could not name it fully, only that it was there and it made them different from the others. I asked her what the palm lines looked like. She told me they appeared like shining threads woven across their skin. Not rough like scars, not random like normal hands, but like light had etched itself into them in a pattern she could not forget. It was beautiful but strange, and she said she knew those marks were the sign that they were ready for Christ's return. When she said those words, my heart beat hard in my chest, because I understood this was no child's imagination. She had seen a separation, a choosing, a mark that could not be faked. And she sat there telling me with all the innocence of her 9 years that this was what would happen when the time came. She let me know that after the wind had passed and the people were standing where they belonged, a hush settled over the place. It was like everyone was waiting for one single thing to happen. Then the trumpet came. Amariel could not call it the kind of trumpet we use in songs. She said it was a clear, pure sound that did not echo and did not fade. It went straight into her like a bell put in the middle of her chest. At the same time, she noticed those special marks on the palms seemed to shine out a little more. The lines that had looked like woven light began to glow like the inside of a shell when sunlight touches it. On that moment, Amariel let me know that the people who had those palm marks did not cry or scream. Their faces became still in a way that was not empty but full. Then, as if someone lifted them from behind, they simply rose. Mariel used small, slow movements with her hands to show me, first a slight lift, then they were gone, like breath carried away. Where they had stood there were only empty spaces, as if chairs had been there and then removed. She told me the empty spaces were not frightening. They looked like clear places left for something else to happen. People who had been standing beside their friends a moment before now held their faces and looked around like lost children. Mariel said she watched faces turned with confusion and pain, and she could feel the sorrow. Among those left were pastors and people who wore robes and had held the Bible high. Mariel saw some of these leaders fall down and cry. She said that at first they tried to comfort people. They raised their hands and spoke words she could not fully keep, trying to preach and tell others what to do. But their words did not heal the empty holes where people had been taken. It was like shouting into a room that had lost its echo. Their preaching felt thin against the deep grief and bewilderment of those who remained. She told me that she saw people run to places where their loved ones had been, only to find nothing. She let me know that the confusion turned into anger for some, into regret for others. She said many were asking why they had been left, and no answer reached them that felt true. She let me know that when Jesus appeared by her side, he drew her attention to the palms of those who had been taken. At first she only remembered the woven lines and the faint sign on the neck. Then he revealed to her how those marks were made. He let her know that the marks began the moment a person truly chooses to follow him. He explained, not with long lessons, but with a simple picture that even a child could hold. When a man or woman becomes born again, God places a seal on that life. The seal is a sign that stays with the person, not a mark that can be made by hands or by pretending. It is placed by God to show that the life belongs to him. Mariel tried to tell me how Jesus showed her the seal. She said he made her look at a small light under the skin, like a thread being sewn quietly into a garment. He let her know that this thread is not hurtful. It does not burn. It is like a careful stitch that holds a soul close to Christ. It looks different from regular lines because regular lines belong to the body alone. This seal comes from the Spirit and shows itself in the palm and under the skin in ways eyes on earth do not always see. He spoke to her about how people can talk about faith and wear the right clothes, but the seal is what counts. He let her know that a man might hold the Bible and speak in loud words, but if the seal is not there, the heart is still not truly fixed to Christ. The mark she had seen on the neck and the special pattern on the palm were signs of that seal. They were not pretty decorations meant to impress others. They were proof that God had placed his hand on that person's life and would keep them when the final call came. Jesus let her know that the pattern would be recognized not by everyone but by the one who places the seal. When the trumpet sounded and the call came, that seal would answer and lift the soul. He also let her know that the seal is not a prize for being perfect. He told her that the seal is for those who have truly turned their lives around and given their hearts to Christ. It remains even when the person is weak and still learning. The seal proves that Christ has claimed them and will not lose them. Mariel tried to explain how that made her feel safe. She said it was like being hugged by something you cannot see but you know holds you forever. She let me know that the Jesus showed her the difference because many people will be watching and thinking they are ready, but the seal is what really matters. He told her that people's appearance in the Spirit is sometimes different from what they seem on earth. That is why some who seem right will be left, and some who looked ordinary will be taken. The seal is God's quiet proof. He let her know that God does not delight in making people fall away, and that he wants everyone to be saved. Still, the seal is the way God keeps his promise to those who truly receive him. It is the difference between saying the words and letting the words change your life. Mariel felt that the seal was a promise that when the moment came, nothing, not failure, not fear, not shame, could take away what God had placed. She told me that after the man revealed these things, she felt herself being pulled back. Her first thought, she told me, was sorrow for those she had seen left behind. She whispered that she wished everyone could understand what she had just seen. She wanted to shake the world awake. She wanted to tell every pastor, every parent, every child that what matters is not the outside but the seal within. She said it felt unfair to keep such a thing quiet. As her mother, I cannot keep silent about what my daughter saw and lived through. I watched her lie weak on that hospital bed, yet speak with a strength far beyond her years. I heard her describe the crowd of souls left behind, weeping in despair because they carried no seal within. I listened as she explained how the trumpet sounded and only those marked by Christ were lifted away. These are not stories a 9-year-old invents. These are warnings from heaven. I want every parent, every brother and sister, every child who hears me to understand this. Time is shorter than we think. The rapture is not a distant idea. It is nearer than the breath in our lungs. My daughter's vision was not given for her alone, it was given for all of us, so that no one may stand unprepared. Do not trust in outward things. Do not rest in religion without relationship. The man she saw spoke of the seal of Christ, and I believe with all my heart that seal is given only to those who have truly surrendered their lives to Him. Not half surrender, not occasional prayer, not Sunday-only faith, but a heart fully yielded, washed in His blood, walking daily with Him. If you are still clinging to sin, let it go now. If you are hiding secret disobedience, confess it and turn. If you are delaying, telling yourself you will repent tomorrow, remember that tomorrow is not promised. The trumpet could sound while you sleep, while you work, while you laugh with friends, and once it does, there will be no second chance. I speak as a mother who has seen her child touch eternity and return. I plead with you, do not wait until tears of regret flood your eyes. Seek the Lord now. Ask Him to give you His seal, His Spirit, His life within. Walk with Him as though today were your last, because one day it will be. My daughter's little voice still echoes in me, Mommy, tell them not to waste their lives. And so I am telling you, do not waste your life. Live it for Christ. Be ready for His coming. And when that trumpet sounds, may you be among those lifted, not among those left behind.